and welcome to the Sports News here on CW57. My name is Ryan Ashker, and here are this week's headlines. After the worst start in team history, the Milwaukee Brewers have fired manager Ron Roenicke. At the time of the announcement, the Brewers were just 7-18, the worst record in all of the majors. President and GM Doug Melvin announced the move just hours after the Brewers won their first series of the season against the Chicago Cubs. These were also the first consecutive games won throughout the season. In just over 4 seasons as the Brewers skipper, the 58-year-old Roenicke was .342 and .331. He led the Brewers to their best season in team history in 2011, where the team finished 96 and 66. Former player Craig Counsell has been hired to take over managerial duties for the Brew Crew. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater claimed their third straight WIAC crown with a 17-5 victory over UW Stout at Nelson Field in Menominee. This is the 15th regular season title for the Warhawks and the 6th in the last 8 years. With the victory, Whitewater also secured the #1 seed for the WIAC tournament, where the winner will receive an automatic bid to the NCAA Division III championship. The University of Wisconsin Lacrosse has earned their 25th consecutive WIAC Men's Outdoor Track and Field Championship over the weekend. This is the Eagles' 51st conference championship in program history. During the second day of events, lacrosse had 6 first-place performances to cement the championship. Also at the meet, UW-Eau Claire's Corey White received the Max Spagler Scholar Athlete Award, while fellow Eau Claire athlete Thurgood Dennis set conference meet records in the 100 and 200-meter dash. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater won their third straight WIC softball title as well with a 4-0 victory over River Falls. This is the 7th crown for the Warhawks in team history. With the win, the team also received the WIC's automatic bid to play in the NCAA Division III championship tournament. The National Football League held the collegiate draft over the weekend in Chicago with a large fan section to accompany the actual draft proceedings. With the 15th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers traded up in the first round to land their future running back, former Badger Melvin Gordon III. The Chargers sent their 1st and 4th round picks this year, as well as a 5th next year, to the San Francisco 49ers to move up only 2 selections, that is to land the former Badger. Another Badger going early in the draft was one of the highly touted men blocking for Gordon last season. Tackle Rob Havenstein went to the St. Louis Rams with the 57th overall selection in the draft. The Green Bay Packers also made some noise in the draft when they moved up in the 5th round to select UCLA quarterback Brett Hundley. The move was designed to coach Hundley up and probably trade him at a later date. With the team's first round selection, the Packers made a risky move, selecting Demarius Randall, a career safety at Arizona State, who is slated to play cornerback for the Packers next season. Green Bay may have also filled their need at inside linebacker in the 4th round, where they selected Jake Ryan out of Michigan. We'll be back with more of the sports news after this. The sports news is brought to you in part by the Red Zone. Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. Right now, I am joined by my friends from Sauk Prairie Soccer. I have Trevor Van Lanen, the head coach, Eric Kramer, and Ariel Lopez. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
Trevor, I want to start with you. What is your history with coaching? Where have you been at before, and how did your journey bring you to Sauk Prairie?
Well, back in August, I secured a 2nd grade teaching position with the Sauk Prairie School District, and so that allowed me the opportunity to move to Madison. And recently, the head coach, he was expecting a new child, so he resigned from his position, and I was able to come in and take that job over. I spent 2 years at Racine Case High School coaching boys soccer there, and really made a good turnaround there, and that led me to Ashwaubenon, where I coached the girls for 1 year, and now my journey to Sauk Prairie, where I look to continue on some of the recent success I've had as a coach.
And as you look to continue that success, do you have any goals looking forward that you'd like to accomplish at Sauk Prairie, maybe if not this season, but in the next few years as well?
Well, I think my #1 goal as a coach is always to try to take my athletes and make them role models for not only their community, but for their peers and for the youth. And then as the second job as coach, I look to try to prepare these athletes to play at the next level, whether that's D3 or Division I, and to do my best to make sure they're ready for that success.
Ariel, with that, what does it mean to you to be a student athlete at Sauk Prairie, to be a part of that soccer program and be a student at the school?
Looking back at it now, it's something that I really cherish. The moments I spent with my teammates and with my coaches, the bonding, the memories, I'm never gonna forget that. I really enjoy everything that's come out of it. I've built some friendships through my teammates that I will probably be friends with for the rest of my life and I won't forget about.
And with that, do you have any plans to play soccer beyond high school, whether it be at college or just a club team, something like that?
As of right now, I am on a club team for the spring with a lot of my current teammates, and as well as I could potentially play in the fall for UW Baraboo.
Congratulations, very nice. We'll have UW Baraboo on later today. How does the team support the community?
We use a lot of youth programs to help get our name out and to show our soccer support. So one of the ways we do that is throughout the year we have a youth night where we bring in a soccer team and they come and they walk out to midfield, they get their names read at a varsity game, and just to give them that experience and build relationships with the varsity athletes. We also plan on holding a youth soccer camp where the varsity athletes would be the trainers for a clinic one night throughout our season.
All right, very quickly, I understand you guys have one big event coming up. Can you tell us a bit about that quickly?
Yeah, in June we have the Carlene's Walk. It's on June 28th, and it's a cancer research fund. And we plan on having the soccer program. We'll be there supporting that program and volunteering and trying to get the word out for that as well.
Very nice. The Sauk Prairie soccer team, Trevor Van Lennon, Eric Kramer, and Ariel Lopez. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back with more of the sports news after this. Hello and welcome back to the Sports News. Right now I'm joined by a good friend of mine, James McIntyre from Ford's Gym. James, thanks for coming back today. How are you doing?
Doing very good, always. Of course I'm going to keep coming back. As long as you invite me, I'm here.
Hey, you got a spot on the show anytime you want, buddy. We want to talk about July 11th, a big event coming up. We have Marcus Parker. Tell us a little bit about how he's going to look.
Marcus Parker, he actually fought 2 weeks ago in Milwaukee, and the boy was sensational. I mean, he held his distance with the jab. Big guy came in with that bully style when it was time to, landed some real hard, heavy shots. He eventually got the third round TKO. I mean, it was brilliant. I mean, but the heavyweights, people always love to see the knockouts, but the one thing that people really don't recognize that he did very well was the defense. He didn't get hit with any big shots. Actually, some of the things we've been working on in the gym, he was ducking, getting underneath some real big shots, and that's the most beautiful thing about boxing to me is the defense. You know, I mean, we can throw punches, people on the street can throw punches, but when you can't get hit with a punch, that's what changes the game.
Well, that's the important part because you can't get knocked out if you don't get hit, right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I thought. Can you tell us a little bit about that July 11th event?
July 11th, man. July 11th, Monona Terrace, Saturday, 7 p.m. And I'm giving everything I had to this one. I mean, I'm taking out all the stops, not sparing any expenses. We're doing everything we can to bring a good show to Madison. It's going to be a pro-am event, so there'll be pros and amateurs. So Marcus Boss Hog Parker will be the main event in that fight. We'll also have another heavyweight, Ryan Jones, and we're working on a contract right now for another local guy. He's not with Ford's Gym, they have their own gym, but he's still representing Madison, Wisconsin. The Supreme Hits, Dorn Boo, and we're trying to work on the contract right now to get him on the show. So we're bringing everybody we can, and also, of course, with the pros, we're gonna have some real good amateurs, so we're looking for a good night.
I also understand a couple of the fighters from Ford's were at the Wisconsin Golden Gloves. How did they do? Can you tell us a little bit about that tournament, what it all includes?
Well, the tournament yesterday, it was some crazy circumstances, but we ended up with one guy, Chris Isley. He's going to nationals as a state champ. And we had another guy, Giovanni Armamin. He actually fought a real good fight, but he ended up with a loss. It was only his second fight. You know, he's just coming up. But fought his heart out, man. He fought real good, and I'm proud of him. Even though he had a loss, he still did what he needed to do. I mean, he worked real hard, and there's things we can work on. We're going to work on him, but he looked good, and we're going to keep working with him.
And I just want to touch on when we got a quick moment here yet. The stereotypes of fighters. People see the fights on TV, whether it's boxing, UFC, etc., and might think, you know, bad guys, tough guys, not good people. Can you tell us a little bit about those stereotypes and who a true fighter actually is?
Yeah, it's terrible the way the conception of fighters. We're always thought of as just being naturally violent people. I mean, and that's just not the case. You got fathers, you got mothers, you got people who are daughters, they go to school like everyone else. We have fighters that have been in college, psychology majors, engineers, machine operators, and the biggest misconception is just that we're violent people, and that's just really not the case, man. If anyone who has been around fighters would know that really it's nice people, probably the nicest people you will ever meet. But when you step inside, that ring or that cage, whatever type of fighting you're doing, you get on that mat with the jiu-jitsu boys. When it's time to handle business, you handle business. But after that's done, it's handshakes, it's all love. We can go out and get something to eat.
Yep, being able to flip that switch. James McIntyre from Ford's Gym. James, thanks for joining us back here again today.
Oh yeah.
Who's the Boss boxing event coming in July 11th to be exact. We'll be back with more of the sports news right after this. Hello and welcome back to the sports news. Right now I am joined by Jessica Pelzel, the women's basketball coach at Madison College. Jessica, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
To start out, can you let us know how did the 2014-2015 season go? How did you guys end up?
We did pretty well overall. We were 22-7. 3 of our 7 losses were to ranked teams in our conference. We have the number 1 team in the country, and we also lost to the number 8 team. At one point during the season, we were ranked number 8, and then had a bad loss to Joliet that dropped us out. But overall, pretty good. We were super young, so to be expected to have a few early season losses with only 2 returners that we had and trying to mesh everybody together early in the season was a little bit difficult. But as we went on, we got rolling pretty good.
And as you mentioned, you're a younger team. Looking forward to next season, who do you have returning players? Who's going to be some big role players for Madison College?
Our biggest returner was named 3rd team All-American this year, Taylor Nelson from Monona Grove High School. She's an outstanding athlete. She did so many great things for us. She had a quadruple double, she had a triple double. She's just everywhere. So we're really looking forward to her coming back for a strong second year, as well as Megan Petty and Jenna Endress, one of our other shooters, coming back for us as well. But we have 8 returners coming back, so that will be very helpful early in the season.
With those 8 returners, what about new coming talent? Do you have anyone coming in that you've been looking at, excited to get on the court?
We do have a few players. We have a transfer back from Highland Community College from Madison East High School, Alicia Justice. We're really looking forward to having her added to the team. She was a all-region player at the Division I level, junior college, so we're looking very much forward to having her. Also, we've got a couple freshmen coming in, hoping to get Rachel Slaney from Barneveld to actually ink that letter of intent pretty soon, as well as Kateri Trilling from Verona. We've got a bunch of local kids coming in, so we're pretty excited about them.
And with those incoming players, hopefuls and ones you already have inked, why is Madison a good option for recruits? What are some of the pitches you use or things the campus can provide to help those student athletes to want to come to Madison College?
I think number 1 is our academics. It's a great place to get a very affordable education. All of our classes transfer, so even if they're going to move on, they're set, and they've already got 2 years of college under their belts, and our teachers do a great job of preparing them for a 4-year experience. But also in the basketball world, we're developing them enough to move on to a higher NCAA level school, whether it be D3 or above. But I think Madison College is a good place for them to develop both in the classroom and on the court.
Understandable. Well, we're running out of time. I do want to thank you for joining us here today, and good luck with the rest of your off season going into next year.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Jessica Pelzel, women's basketball coach at Madison College. We'll be right back with more of the sports news in just a moment. Hello and welcome back to the sports news. Right now I am joined by New Glarus head baseball coach Ross Eddy. Ross, thanks for joining us here today.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. The setup's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. We want to congratulate you. Just heard you added to your family, so congratulations on that.
We did. I just had my first son. His name is Graham. He was born the 21st of March, so it's pretty awesome.
Very nice. A lot of busy man Ross Eddy is. Can we start off talk a little bit about the team? How long have you coached? How's the team done under you?
Well, this is my third year as the head coach. It's actually my 5th year in the program. The first 2 years I coached JV. We've kind of started from the bottom and we're continuing to work our way up, which is, it's nice to see. The biggest thing is just constantly having the kids keep improving. Our record's not where we want it to be, but we're improving every day, and that's exactly what we want to have happen.
That's the important part. You said with returning players growing, getting a little bit better. How many returning players did you have going into this season?
We actually have 5 returning starters. We only have 1 senior that's a returning starter, so a lot of our players have actually spent a lot of time playing. We have 2 returning juniors now that have played 3 years of varsity baseball, and 2 more returning sophomores who started as freshmen. So we're still relatively a young team, but they're a team that has played a lot of baseball together.
That's good, that cohesive unit you get out of that then. You mentioned that you're not starting the season the way you necessarily wanted, but looking ahead, it's not a short season. You guys have some time. What are some of the expectations you have for the New Glarus baseball team?
Well, I really expect us, to play hard every game. That's kind of where we're at. Is we play one really tough game and then we kind of slide back down and don't play our toughest game. And I think part of that is being young, and part of that is having a lot of new pieces. We have 2 or 3 freshmen that start right now as well, so we're kind of continuing with that young aspect. But one thing that it's really helped is getting these kids a lot of playing time as they're younger, so then by the time they become upperclassmen, they're going to be, a lot more seasoned veterans and different things like that. So it's been good. Not exactly where we want to, but we are improving every day, and it's nice to see the kids actually be buying into the program.
With a younger team, what are some of the strengths that your team has, and how can you as a coach kind of utilize those on the field?
The biggest thing that we have right now is we have speed. Our team is really fast. We've got a lot of kids that play basketball and football, and so they're multi-sport athletes, which really leads to them being just overall really good athletes. And so speed right now is really in our favor, and so the biggest thing is if and when we can get on base, we can score runs. We don't necessarily have the biggest body type, but we're really good at going station to station, and once we get on base scoring runs, it's kind of nice.
And really quickly, I just want to talk to you a bit about how you as a coach can get kids interested in baseball, make them want to come out for the team so you can continue to get better.
Well, one of the things that we started this year is the New Glarus Youth Baseball Association. The problem that we've had in the past is not having a lot of kids come out for baseball. Being a smaller school, we have roughly 270 kids in the high school, and so we have anywhere from 5 kids in a grade to 7 kids come in a grade. And we've had, 2 years ago, we had 18 kids in our entire baseball program from freshman to senior. This year we have 28 kids, and so we were able to field a full JV team, which we haven't been able to do in the past. And one of our focuses for this youth program is to get more kids interested and keep kids interested. We've been losing a lot of kids from youth baseball from 7th and 8th grade to when they reach high school, and we just can't have that happen in a small town. We're not going to be competitive with low numbers, and the more we can keep them, the better off. So we started this Youth Baseball Association where it's a group of board members and local community members who are really focused in on baseball and really want the game to grow. And we're in the infancy stage, but I think in a year or two it's going to really pay its dividends.
Able to continue that growth. Ross, I want to thank you for joining us here today.
Awesome, I appreciate it. This is fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Ross Eddy, head baseball coach at New Glarus. We'll be right back with more of the sports news after this. Hello and welcome back to the sports news. Right now I am joined by Jason Schulte and Paige Ringelstetter of UW Baraboo and Sauk County. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And I understand, Jason, I want to start off with, you brought something along a little bit special today for Paige. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I brought along the Max Spurger Award. It is the conference award for a student athlete who excels as both a student and athlete. And Paige didn't know that I was bringing this along, so she is the 2014-2015 recipient of the Max Spurger Award.
Thank you.
So it's a good way to start this off, huh?
Yeah, surprised.
Yeah. Paige, obviously we can tell you're surprised. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that went into earning that and kind of how you feel right now being able to claim that award?
Well, I love the opportunities I've had at UW Baraboo, and playing sports has been definitely the highlight of my sports career in general. I love it. I put in a lot of time, extra hours planning stuff for team get-togethers and ideas for seasons in the future where I won't even be there, and I'm really excited about this. This is really cool. And I put a lot of time into my schoolwork as well, staying up late nights. After practice, you have to make time for your schoolwork too.
And what clubs and activities are you a part of at UW Baraboo?
I am, as some people might call it, over-involved. I like a lot of things, sports in general. I tried hockey club for the first time ever my freshman year, and I had never played hockey before in my life, and I fell in love. I became the president of that club. Loved it. It's a great group of guys. Mark Boucher is the advisor for that. He's our library director, and he is even more involved and advisors of many more clubs, which I am also a part of. Volleyball club, we actually started together last year. Was the first year. We went from having 12 students or so being a part of it to over 40 or so, depending on the week. I'm also part of Phi Theta Kappa, which is the 2-year version of an honor society. It's a national organization, and I also became president of that last year, so.
Fantastic.
Busy, busy.
Jason, well, we got just a quick moment here. Can you tell us a little bit about what athletic offerings are available at UW Baraboo and some things you might want our viewers to know about the school?
Well, we offer, in the fall, we offer women's volleyball and men's and women's soccer. In the winter, we offer men's basketball, and then we offer men's and women's tennis in the spring, which is going on right now, and we've had a very competitive start to the season, so I've been very pleased with where our tennis teams, both the men and women, have competed so far.
All right, thank you, Jason and Paige from UW Baraboo. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports News today. My name is Ryan Ashker, and we'll be back next week getting you in the game right here on CW57 Sports.